All right, hello everyone, and welcome to game number 3 in this best of 3 series between Boedt and Jatelyn. Jatelyn opening up in game number 2 with Huntresses and a Beastmaster staying at tier 1, and that was absolutely a huge unexpected play, as we now see him go for a much more traditional Altar of Elders, Moonwell, followed by an Ancient of War. All of those early wisps being used to harvest as much lumber as possible. Very important. Being able to get up to close to 50 supply, 48 early on, and then just winning with massive numbers. Also purposely disrupting by taking down a couple of key burrows early on. Set up game number 2, or set up the win for game number 2 as we now move on into game number 3. Alright, what is Boedt looking to do here as he is on the top left-hand side as the Green Orc, opening up with Barracks and the Altar of Storms. Blademaster Shadowhunter seems to be his standard MO. Meanwhile, Jatelyn, I can't make any predictions on what he's going to do. I thought he was going to go Druids of the Talon in game 1. That was not the case. A delayed Altar of Elders in game number 2, as we now see what's going to be happening in game number 3. Archer should be popped out here in just a moment. There is that Demon Hunter, as I mentioned, going up against the Blademaster, as I mentioned, as both sides are just setting up for that 2-minute mark when all of their units will be ready to go and will start to get their creeping in. Terranistan, a rather large map as the units have to walk, but all of the creep camps are relatively small. Normally you can get to a level 3, maybe a level 4 unit before you really start to engage against your opponent. As you now see, what is that Wisp doing? Why did Jatelyn walk a Wisp straight in front of a whole bunch of Apprentice Wizards? That does not make any sense. Meanwhile, the Archer really should have been trying to deal some extra damage to these additional units here. Rogue gonna get taken down, there it goes, and now the Renegade Wizard will fall as well. Archer with that lightning shield, very effective. You can see that the Renegade Wizard will get taken out. Circuit of Nobility going to be picked up, and now the Ancient of War making its way off over here to take on the Apprentice Wizards as well. Meanwhile, down across here, a quick Wisp gets killed. I cannot imagine that Jatelyn was expecting that particular opening, as we now see the Demon Hunter with +5 attack and 1.5 armor. He's going to head off to the north here. Blademaster is in position. Wisp heading back down across here as the Blademaster unable to get to any of these Wisps. Meanwhile, the Grunt is going to be taking some damage. Archer is going to be able to slip it back here without much of an issue, as the Blademaster looking for perhaps some easy kills. Not going to find anything over there, and we are looking at a much more traditional game as Jatelyn is in fact going for tier 2. The Wisp, is it going to detonate in time? Yes, it will. The Blademaster now out of mana. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Stronghold has already been upgraded, and we'll see whether or not we see the Bestiary and that Spirit Lodge come into play very quickly. So far, the armies are rather small. Jatelyn sitting at only 19/40 compared to the Orcs 20/20. Small armies indeed right now, so no one's going to truly try to engage each other, but I am expecting at least a little bit more creeping to happen. Ancient of War slowly making its way over. Demon Hunter does have 2 circlets of nobility, as we see an Archer going to be in a little bit of trouble, needs to get away. Blademaster gets mana burned again, and without mana is not going to be able to easily escape as much as it would like to. Demon Hunter does have Boots of Speed, you must remember, and it could get in that additional damage, at least onto that Blademaster, but the Blademaster does have better regeneration since it is in fact a hero. Demon Hunter, is it going to go after that Blademaster very more? Yes, it looks like it's trying to make up some ground, but not much is really going to be happening there, as we do see a Tree of Life by Jatelyn. Alright, Jatelyn opening up with some interesting plays this time. If he is trying to go for a long-term game, excuse me, and try to hide an expansion, he may be able to just do exactly that. He hasn't shown his opponent that he will play consistently at all, and the Blademaster now is currently going to be in a little bit of trouble as a Speed Scroll now does go down. Speed Scroll means that the Blademaster is going to, well, run in every which direction. I thought he might chase after the Archer, but that is not the case, as a low hit point Grunt may have to fall on his axe, or well, fall on the axe or pick of a couple of Kobold Taskmasters there, in order to stay alive and deny experience. Not stay alive. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. What is the long-term strategy? Once again, another mana burn comes across. Demon Hunter has been pretty much kept in check keeping in check that Blade Master throughout this matchup here. And now with Evasion, he has much more longevity. The armor now up to 7.1. Very, very high indeed. And you can see that the piercing damage is not going to do that much per shot, maybe 6 or 7 damage total. And this is really worth it, as a Grunt is going to try and escape, and it looks like it will not be able to at all, as the Grunt gets the final shot off, or no, the Demon Hunter doesn't get the final shot off. The Orc Burrow gets the final shot off there. Meanwhile, Blade Master is attempting to heal back up. Does not have a Clarity Potion though. Demon Hunter and the Blade Master just miss each other by mere moments, as, wow, the Blade Master walks back over there to try and hide, only to reveal himself to a lonely Wisp. Goblin Tinker by Jatelyn, the second hero, as opposed to the Beastmaster. Demon Hunter going to be heading back home. He's going to be able to get some Moonwell as well. Is he going to drop the Circlets of Nobility? No, he is not. He actually uses more Moonwell juice than he needs to, as he now makes his way to the Goblin Merchant Shop here. The Ancient of War is nowhere nearby. There is not that much gold either, as you can see the Pocket Factory is in fact dealing a little bit of damage. Those Clockwork Goblins staying alive just a bit, as we are still continuing this fight here. Tree of Life gonna go ahead and make its way down to the south, try to set up an expansion. Actually, why is it heading back off to the north? There's no reason for this Tree of Life to head there. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter is in the midst of this base here, trying to take down the War Mill. We are looking at, 22 over 40 supply. A quick Hex goes down on the Demon Hunter. Staff of Teleportation could be used. This is actually going to become very, very close and dangerous, as another Hex does go down. Blade Master may get the killing blow here. 47 hit points. Scroll of Town Portal. And Jatelyn, now the lucky one, not losing his Demon Hunter. All right. Using those Moonwells once more, but without taking off the Circlets of Nobility. And now using a Moonstone in order to make up for the fact that he had not taken off the Circlets of Nobility. A little bit of a mistake there, as we now see Jatelyn entangling the gold mine on the bottom left. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 2. Claws of Attack +6 and Slippers of Agility once more. Demon Hunter gonna get into position. Wants to get to level 3 as quickly as possible, in order to finish off, in order to get that mana burn off onto that Shadow Hunter and that Blade Master. Shadow Hunter still sitting at level 1 here. You can see a watchtower now being constructed, as he does not want to face as much harassment as he has been so far. We are at Fortress. We could see the reinforced defense upgrade, something that you don't normally see from professional players. We'll see how this bodes for him here in game number 3. Entangled Gold Mine, about 80% done, as we will see a couple of Wisps jump inside there in just a moment. Meanwhile, off to the north, a Pocket Great Hall being used to construct a Great Hall here, over here on the top right-hand side of the map. And the economic advantage that, was so carefully calculated by Jatelyn is not going to come into play here in game number 3. However, we do see Druids of the Talon coming out from dual Ancients of Wind, and without, very important, without that Tauren Chieftain with Shockwave, I am very curious as to how this is going to work out in the end. The -5 armor coupled with the Cyclones, that is going to be a very big deal. Also, we do not see any Spirit Walkers out yet, so they're not going to, even if they do join onto the field, the moment that Spirit Lodge is done, you still need to upgrade to Adept training, and you still need to train them early enough to actually have enough mana to try and dispel that Cyclone. Druids of the Talon still getting trained up here. 37 over 60 supply. Goblin Tinker sitting at level 2. Economic advantage being neutralized. Both sides getting about or will be getting about 20 gold a second, as we now see 3 watchtowers over here on the top right as well. Hero levels are rather low. Demon Hunter and Goblin Tinker ready to go here. You can see what's happening here. Those illusions are making their way off to the north once more. And is the Demon Hunter going to be able to get to level 3 before the next engagement? That is going to be the next big question. All right, those illusions going to be taking some serious damage. Pocket Factory not coming into play at all, as we see the Ogre Mauler now being trained. A good pickup to get a good tanky unit from that additional gold, and now adding in a Forest Troll Berserker. Very high piercing damage, as well as we now see a level 3 Goblin Tinker following it up as well. Level 2 on the Blade Master and level 2 on the Shadow Hunter as we now head off to the north. Are we going to see that Goblin Tinker or the Demon Hunter rush in here to try and stop this expansion? That is going to be the big question there. Is the Pocket Factory just within range? That is actually the worst possible place for that to be. That Pocket Factory is going to end up falling. Meanwhile, we are now rushing on inside here to try and focus down these. All right, Druid of the Talon purposely backing out, stays just out of range and will end up surviving. There goes one. One Druid of the Talon, however, falls. Another Druid of the Talon could fall here in just a moment. The Ogre Mauler, there is the Roar right there, as well as the Goblin Tinker still looking to engage. Meanwhile, over here on the bottom left, you see the same exact thing happening, but it looks as though the standing army of Jatelyn is just a little bit larger here and will be able to finish off these watchtowers much more quickly. There goes that final watchtower now. Blade Master Illusion is there and there, as the Blade Master finishing off this Tree of Life. 50 over 70 supply compared to 34 over 60. The Orc barely has an army, not quite sure where it went. All of that additional gold not being spent, as we see a Staff of Preservation being used. Detonations quickly going down. Druid of the Talon down over here should be able to get in one good Cyclone if necessary, as we now see a new Tree of Life being built off to the north. Blade Master going to be joining in on the fight here, going to try and put pressure. Meanwhile, there is one Druid of the Talon who could get one Cyclone off, but it is leaving the comforts of his own base and will most likely fall at the hands of the Blade Master. All right, are we going to see Fairy Fire on that unit there? There is a Wind Walk. Oh, beautiful Druid of the Talon. No ensnare, as the Druid of the Talon goes into Crow form in order to get away. This one Ancient of War taking a bit more damage than it bargained for, as it now tries to fight back. There is some Fairy Fire now going down as well, as some big damage getting hit on by that Raider. Druids of the Talon trying to engage onto that Blade Master. Blade Master now going to try to escape. There's the Pocket Factory. Are we going to see some Cyclones? There's one, there's two, as the quick Scroll of Town Portal is used. All right, is this Raider close enough? It looks like it in fact was, as the Druid of the Talons are going to be able to amass more mana once more. Tree of Life over here on the top right. It still looks as though the Orc player unable to really build a large enough army. 39 over 50 compared to 50 over 60. And Jatelyn has another expansion about ready. Peons, however, going to quickly scout that out. And this Tree of Life is most likely going to end up getting canceled, as the Watchtower is going to come into play and perhaps start shutting it down. Demon Hunter knows what's up. He does have an Orb of Venom, and he is now trying to rush to the aid of this expansion location here. The Tree of Life pretty much already committed to entangling this gold mine, as we see the Watchtower about halfway, or a little bit halfway done. Goblin Tinker going to be heading over here to the bottom, or the top left, bottom right of this map here. Pocket Factory going to start perhaps trying to take down the Voodoo Lounge. Units are now making their way off to the north. There is one Raider there that was revealed by Fairy Fire, and it will end up getting taken out, I believe. One more shot from the Demon Hunter would fix it, but instead it's able to hide back over here again. All right. Voodoo Lounge gonna get destroyed. The Tree of Life gonna get taken out as well. As you can see, the main army now chasing its way over. Does the Shadow Hunter have a Scroll of Town Portal? No. This is gonna be very, very bad. Orc army has no way out of a very bad situation here. A quick Hex does go down, and all that he can really rely on is hoping that there is enough guard towers here to give him a favorable advantage. Druid of the Talon absorbing a bit of damage here. It looks like it will get taken out. There goes two cancellations on those towers once more. Demon Hunter finishing off the rest of these peons. Will finish off this Watcher Tower here. Druid of the Talon is in trouble, though. It will get taken out, as you can see a couple of Raiders trying to get away. Raiders Looks as though it will not get away. Finish off these watchtowers. 43 over 60 supply, but 9 of that is currently up in the air, only to fall and die in a horrible, horrible death in just a second. And I think with those losses, that is pretty much going to be all she wrote. Goblin Tinker ready to go and continuing the fight again. Are we going to see a Cyclone there? No, that Raider will end up surviving. But the remaining 2 still up in the air, waiting to come back to, well, Azeroth. All right, let's see what's going to be happening next. Unit's going to be dropping down there. Raider taking a blow, taking another round of blows. It gets cycloned up. That Raider going to get taken out. Perhaps Fairy Fire should have been used nearly immediately to finish it off, or get at least a 4-unit surround the instant it comes back down to Earth. Blade Master sitting at 3, Shadow Hunter sitting at 2, Bat Riders being added, and there's 4 Bat Riders here. What are they really going to hope to do against this army of Druids of the Talon? Liquid Fire can be impressive, but it does in fact deal siege damage there, a quick death there. But what is the long-term game plan? Hippogriffs now being added as well. Ancient of Wind is going to really be able to shut that down in just a moment, as you see a Goblin Tinker teleport back home, and also having a Druid of the Talon down here as well. Peons trying to do a little bit of long distance, maybe long distance mining. Manual of Health being left behind back there. Not sure what's going on, as we now see a major fight happening in here. All right, Blade Master going after the Tree of Eternity. Tree of Eternity trying to get cheese. Liquid Fire, it cannot get repaired. The Tree of Eternity could get taken down here at a moment's notice. Hippogriffs now joining in on the fight as they are trying to finish off some of those units. All right, Tree of Eternity down to 800, 700 hit points. Hippogriffs continuing to fight here. Are we going to see some repairs? No, we are not, because it is Liquid Fired as Jatelyn is in trouble. It is now down to 400, 350 hit points. Liquid Fire still in play. Potion of Invulnerability coming into play here. Is it going to get taken down? Down to 107, and it is almost taken down to 55 hit points, but the Liquid Flame does not last long enough. One more blow would have been it, but that is the game. Jatelyn able to survive. Blade Master not getting in enough damage as Jatelyn takes the series 2-0. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 series from the ESL WarCraft 3 Cups.